I'm Hal Bennett, Executive Vice President of Sales for HouseCanary. I'm delighted to have our CEO and co-founder, Jeremy Sickliff, joining us. He will be taking you through a little bit of the concept of what we're going to be sharing with you today. And then JP Ackerman, who heads up our strategic business, both with financial services customers and real estate customers, will be then sharing some specifics of what we're productizing on behalf of this refinance opportunity. So again, thank you for joining. This is going to be a great use of your time. Overall, you should expect today's session to last between 30 and 40 minutes. And again, as I said earlier, we're going to record this so you can share some of the content with some of your counterparts. The agenda that we're going to cover has three primary topics. Topic number one, and this is where we'll talk a little bit more under Jeremy's leadership, the size of the refinance opportunity. We've spent a lot of time really understanding this marketplace and really focusing on where it is concentrated. It's one thing to look at the market holistically. It's another thing to drill down with a very segmented and focused approach. So Jeremy will share a little bit more about that. He will also share some conversations about using smarter data to find prospects before they take their business elsewhere. And that's going to be both a set of conversation that Jeremy's going to lead and will be part of the transition to JP. What JP will then talk about is what are the qualifying and approving on-the-spot techniques that we can provide for you that will ensure that you have real-time collateral valuations such as consumers' debt and equity positions. At the end of the day, what we're really proud of is our ability to deliver accurate and timely data. And what we're really excited about is the opportunity to help you grow your business. I'll then come back and I'll wrap up with one slide that will talk a little bit about the unique value proposition that we think we bring to the marketplace as strategic partners of yours. And then with the time we have remaining, we'll open up for questions and answers with the entire team. So with that, let me introduce Jeremy Sickliff, our founder and CEO. Jeremy?
Great. Thank you very much, Hal. So just to start off with a couple simple numbers, this is fresh as of today. The 30-year mortgage rate as of pre-election November 7th was 3.54%. As of yesterday, the 30-year mortgage rate was at 4.13%. So we're up 60 basis points in just slightly over a month. Where is it headed? Likely up. We all know that. But what are the implications of a rise in interest rate, and what does it mean for your business and your customers? Let's talk a bit about that. So there's $1 trillion as we see it in real refinance opportunities. If we look at the overall mortgage market, $14 trillion. If we look at the real opportunity for refinances, we'll talk about it. We're very conservative, as you'll find. We're also very quantitative. We see the real opportunity for refinance as really aligning with four criteria. Number one, there's at least $2,000 of savings per year per customer. Number two, less than 80% loan to value. Number three, not in default. And number four, the borrower saves interest paid over the life of the loan. I think it's important to be maniacally focused on customers and to help them make the right decisions through this. But there's real dollars here at stake. There's 5.5 million households that would still benefit from refinance opportunity. There's $36 billion in annual savings from refinancing right now for customers. And if you take that down to $1 per household, it basically comes out to about $6,500 on average for households that meet the criteria that we see. Moving on, as we look at it, again, if we go back to November, in November pre-election, there was 8.3 million loans that were refi ready. As of now, there's 5.5 million loans that are refi ready. So we've seen, just with this 60 basis point increase in interest rates, we've seen 2.7 million decline in households that meet the criteria to refinance. That's massive. As we see the 30-year rate go up to closer to 4.5%, we're likely to see another decline of 1.3 million households that would benefit, in our terms, really benefit from refinancing, and it will go down to 4.2 million loans approximately. So about a 50% cut with just 100 basis points of interest rate increase. But if we take where we are today, 5.5 million loans is still a lot, and in terms of the opportunity in front of us. Now, let's put that same view into dollars. As of November, there was $1.5 trillion of refi-ready loans. As of today, we've seen that decline by $0.5 trillion or $500 billion in terms of opportunity. But there's still $1 trillion there, and again, a massive opportunity. So let's now talk about who will be most affected and what are the strategies to potentially employ. There's two real opportunities at play here for any mortgage lender. On one hand, for large banks where there are very many refi opportunities, it's about playing defense. It's about going back to customers and giving them value with re-existing customers. So on one hand, it's about protecting your own business by retargeting existing customers and helping them find, advising them into the best opportunities. Secondly, it's also about going on offense, taking share by being very targeted, very smart, very aggressive with where you can win. If we sort of dimension out where these refi opportunities are, there's 2.8 million loans in need of refi that today sit with the top 25 lenders. There's about 4 million loans with the top 100 lenders. So again, we see this concentration occurring, and that's both a threat but also an opportunity depending on how you look at it and how you use information for a competitive advantage. So let's now talk a little bit more about how to unlock the opportunity. We see there being two overall themes of how information is being used to unlock the opportunity and to use that for competitive advantage to grow your business more efficiently than others. Number one, how to target. In terms of targeting, it's about using very deep analytics to identify those prospects before they become your competitors' leads. So using information to your advantage. Number two, it's about personalization. Providing your customers with the best information. It's about moving from you may qualify now to something that's much more specific. You have a 72% loan to value. You're qualified to save $3,572. And when you do put together targeting and personalization, you really make it easy for the customer. You delight the customer. It's a personalized, differentiated experience that has information around it. You're helping advise a customer, and it's specific. And that's where we see the opportunity to leverage information to truly delight the customer, and that's ultimately what this is all about. So now let me hand this off to JP to talk a little bit more about how this looks in action.
Thanks, Jeremy. And I think it's very important in what Jeremy said, and in the environment in which we're in with interest rates moving quickly, the Fed's taken action today, we continue to see this environment get reshaped on a moment-by-moment basis. This is about empowering you to make the best offer, to be proactive in the marketplace, to understand the detail of any prospect, whether it's an inbound or out or something that is lead generated, to understand the analytics around the opportunity for converting them into a new customer, understanding the active loans, the full history of refinances, the details of the loans, the current interest rates, being sure that you can understand how you fit into the mold and what to lead with. Today we're in an environment where most of this is scoped on an inbound lead in a painful 15, 20, 30-minute conversation with a customer that is far from delighting a customer. It's inefficient, and most importantly, it doesn't necessarily provide the right information. So in often cases, you're working with imperfect information to craft an offer, and there's huge leakage here. So getting the simple knowledge base here is critical. Understanding the accrued equity. This is a very complex piece of how we make offers in this industry, and by understanding an accurate home valuation as well as the loan balances in concert, you can walk in to say, I know about every household in the United States, where the equity position is today, as well as those lien details. How do I fit in the mold? How can I present an offer to them? How can I do that quickly so when I have a conversation, it's a rich, detailed conversation, most meaningful to the customer, so that you can pinpoint how to take the action on those next steps. So what ultimately this is about is getting deep. And I think in the proactive scenario, as you think about an example an example we're going to present here in Virginia, it's great to have this information when you have somebody that is an inbound. When they're coming to you, you can grab that. It's a big piece of the area we focus on. But what you'll see in these subsequent slides is about how do you be proactive and turn this into a machine to generate the leads to take action on this closing marketplace. The example in Virginia that we're portraying here, we see about $39 billion in refinance opportunity that's sitting out there. It's across 213,000 households, which yield almost $7,000 in annual savings per household in terms of total payment. I mean, this is a refi opportunity that is a latent demand in the market that is, for one reason or another, not been unlocked. And in a lot of cases, what we've seen is because people don't have the full suite of analytics to be able to tease out where these needles in a haystack are. Being able to do that in scale is critical. Recognizing, however, you're not going to target 213,000. It's about the next customer. What we're going to provide is tools to be able to access those based on your criteria. And using the example of looking at loan amounts that are between $350 and $550, identifying the CLTV targets, the minimum annual savings you want to be able to offer. This can help you to craft the right set of leads that allow you to pinpoint the next set of customers you'll be bringing in and attack this latent opportunity that's sitting in the marketplace. Now, it's critical to understand what we know about these individual households, and I think this is where this is complex. This is about taking an enormous amount of information and turning it into an actionable insight. What we've kind of portrayed here is the storyline of what's coming through our databases and our analytics and the value enhancement we've done. But to understand that John Campbell at this address in Stafford took a loan out in January 2007 for $720 with an LTV at 80%. In this storyline, which I won't go through the painful detail here, start to present a clear picture of what you're faced with in terms of how to craft an opportunity for them. What is most important here is that we can understand the rate, the loan product, when it was originated, and most importantly that it's not delinquent. We understand the equity. We understand the loan balances. And this is how we pinpoint. This is how we turn a painful conversation into something very enriching, such that when you reach out to John Campbell, you've got very clear detail of where he stands today and ultimately what impact you can provide to him. And with this is where we do this across the entire housing stock. We understand where these are nationwide, and we're able to go back and append onto that an understanding of what the contact information is in terms of phone number as well as email address, wherever possible. So as we think about curating the next steps for you, this lead set is about something that you can define and we can scope based on the criteria under which we know about the customers across the housing stock. In terms of how this comes to life for you as a consumer, the product that we're turning to market now is the HouseCanary refinance lead, bringing together this information based on each property that we understand and taking into account the considerations you have for the geographic scope of the business, the type of product that you offer, and the breadth of how you're going to target these guys. What's absolutely critical here is to be able to do this real time, and I just can't emphasize enough what we're seeing on the marketplace that Jeremy identified is such a rapid change in the behaviors of the marketplace that this massive opportunity is a closing window. I think it's absolutely critical to be able to get in there and target with precision here across the markets in which you're exposed. So this website, which is housecanary.com, /lender/mortgage-leads, all the information is here. I encourage you to take an additional detailed look at it, as well as reviewing the slides in more detail for the criteria in which you're looking. But we can begin to stream this stuff out to you real time. So this is an easy to access, very actionable lead generation tool for you. Now, on the back of this, and I think this is where it gets really critical, we've talked to a lot of the details of what we know about the liens. The valuation is an essential component of this, and understanding where the equity really lies. And I think what you'll continue to see is we'll build tools off of the knowledge-based evaluation we've got. I'm showing here something we're seeing many of our customers engaging with their clients and to help create an aligned viewpoint of value on properties, whether it be in a refinance or a purchase money scenario. This is a tool that is a complement to the appraiser focus that we have. We develop a lot of technology and valuation tools for that part of the industry as well. And the goal here is that you align the value up front, align the expectations with consumers, and obviously fuel all the analytics around combined loan-to-value ratios and understanding the equity that's present. With some of the statistics we've heard are that lenders are still often faced with a 30% churn out of those misset expectations of value between a loan officer and a customer up front, delaying the process, making it more painful for all involved. And the critical component is taking very enriched, hyper-accurate tools and valuation to set that expectation up front, to streamline the process, make sure that your dollars are spent efficiently, that ultimately you can drive better conversion rates. And this is about making the best offer to ultimately close more loans. So these tools all along the way allow you to make sure that you've got the best response for inbound and the most proactive, most sophisticated outbound lead generation tools at your fingertips. What we see in this, and as we think about this, the future here, it is a closing window. We recognize that the time is here. It's today, and it's going to take some advanced tools to do this. We see an enormous amount of tools being generated in the marketplace to stream leads of interested parties in mortgages, but responding to that, we've seen conversion rates that are extremely low. There's large sums of money being spent on it, and the opportunity here is to make sure that we've got the advanced tools to target these prospects and take action quickly on them. And by understanding the loan detail, the loan-to-value ratio, the property values, the goal here is boosting conversion. Make this an efficient lend such that you guys can close more business and attract these opportunities before the window closes.
Great, JP. Thank you for that. Much appreciated. For those of you that have not had a chance to forward any questions, please do so. We've had a few come in that I'll cover in a little bit of time with the team. But I just want to remind you all that through chat, feel free to offer up some questions. I'm going to wrap up with a couple of comments. First of all, what we believe makes HouseCanary unique is that we're showing a specific example on how the accuracy, the timeliness, and ease of use of accessing our data can be applied to your business. Our whole philosophy here at HouseCanary isn't to provide a set of products and technologies that we sell to you and then you go off and figure out how to use it. The whole philosophy here at HouseCanary is how do we help you and your business be more successful? So we spend a lot of time not talking about HouseCanary on what we do and the products and services that we have. We talk a lot here at HouseCanary about how to deploy HouseCanary solutions in your business today. And that's transcended itself not just from a business philosophy, but also a strategic partnering philosophy. And what I tried to highlight here is a few areas that we focus on and we're maniacal about when it comes to doing business with our customers. First and foremost is we treat our customers as partners. And what that means is we want to clearly understand your goals, your business objectives, what are the things that are most important to your business. Then what we like to do is within that framework, develop joint operational plans. In some cases, those are deep dive, detailed operational models. What businesses are you in? What markets are you going after? What are the supporting goals and objectives? And what's the lift that together we can create for you in the marketplace? And then finally, how do we help you exceed those objectives? We've actually gone so far within our organization to lay out targets within HouseCanary that are tied directly to our strategic partner requirements and objectives, which is a different approach than I think many of you may be used to when it comes to working with companies that bring value to your business. So how do we do that? We share targets. I know Jeremy challenges me every day, not just how are we doing against our internal targets, but how are we helping our customers be successful? How are we helping them grow their business? And today we've shared a little bit of an example of that in the Refi space. What we also do is we love periodic business reviews, because what reviews do is help guide how we're doing, help us refine how we're doing, and then continue to make adjustments so that, again, we can hit those shared targets. Training initiatives are absolutely critical. And what we mean by training initiatives, how do we continually train you and educate you on the capabilities, not just of our products and solutions, but expose you to roadmaps and ideas that we have coming down the pike. In fact, what we love to do within those training initiatives is learn from you about the things that you need to help gear our next set of efforts to be as maniacally focused again on your business and you as possible. And last but certainly not least, and exemplified today, is we love executive commitments. Jeremy is committed to this business, his leadership team is committed to the business, but it has to work both ways. We love when we have executive commitment from our counterparts within our partner community, because without the executive commitments, all we end up with is a bunch of work initiatives and operational plans, and we're really looking to help you create lift in the marketplace. So with that, I'm going to pause, give you all an opportunity to ask a few questions. In the meantime, a few have come in, and what I'd like to do is first and foremost is answer one of the questions that I have, and I'll answer that directly. And that has to do with the question around how does a customer/partner typically get started in this environment with HouseCanary? And so what I'd like to do is basically share with you a couple of simple steps. There's a phone number here that you can call, but I think more importantly, I think it's critical that you all connect with your teams internally, because what we're sharing with you is a go-to-market strategy, not just a usage strategy. So what we suggest you do is you internally align with your team to confirm some level of target criteria. In other words, what locations are important to you, what loan amounts, CLTVs are important to you, and start framing that out. The next step we'd suggest you take is call us. Use the phone number here below. Send us an email at sales@housecanary.com, or you can simply send a note we make it really simple. Send a note to Jeremy at housecanary.com, or Hal at housecanary.com, or JP at housecanary.com, and we can have you up and running within minutes with lead lists. And what we've been trying to do with these lead lists is keep it within groupings of 1,000. But our goal is to help you be successful, so we'll fill up your pipeline with as many leads as possible that will help you hit those milestones that you're looking for. So that's one of the questions that we had. I've got a second question that came through, and I think this one is for Jeremy. And the question has to do with public record. And basically, the ask is, we can obtain a lot of the information that you shared via public record, but how is HouseCanary's data better? And Jeremy, I'll ask you to answer that.
That's a good question. As a business, what we have done is been on a path to index everything there is to know about every home, every mortgage, every consumer, every neighborhood, and meld that together into a platform that you can use to make decisions. On top of that information that we've very much cleaned, we've built a lot of the analytics around valuation, and we're at the top of the market in terms of valuation accuracy. But really it's beyond that. It's about delivering what Hal identified. for us, it's about not just providing public record, but using that to identify benefits to really help grow the business with our clients and apply that information. So the differentiators for us are the most accurate valuations that we build in, very deep analytics that we really build in addition to any public record. We have a comprehensive view on every property or almost every property in the United States, and what that enables us to do is search for where the needles in the haystack are to find the opportunities and target them. As we wake up every day, we solve these problems. As a lot of our clients in the mortgage lending space wake up every day, they're focused on growing their mortgage business. It's often hard to do both, and so for us, it's this maniacal focus on solving these problems of our clients using analytics that really starts to set us apart, and together it creates strong partnerships. And actually, interesting enough, I saw some news just pop up that during this, it looks like Fed just raised the interest rates by 25 basis points by a quarter. So it's happening real time.
Great. Thanks, Jeremy. There's a couple more questions that have come in. I may combine these two. One has to do with selection criteria. The other one has to do with pricing. And let me combine both of these. The first part of the question is, does your lead selection criteria include FHA and or leads coming off mortgage insurance requirements? And do leads include telephone number and email address? And then the second part has to do with pricing. So let me see if I can, and basically the question on pricing is, how do I get pricing on this solution? Let me answer these together. The first part of the question, what we're really flexible around is your selection criteria. So if, for example, you are interested in PMI analyses and want to segment that way, and you want to segment through FHA loans, you want to make sure that there's a telephone number and email address because you're going to do a phone blitz, you're going to do an email blitz. We want to accommodate the data required based on the way you want to see the data presented, the way you want to see the sort, and the way you want to go to market. And so what we're trying to be very flexible around is addressing your needs and your requirements. Goes back to what I said before about it's all about you as a customer and a partner, not necessarily a quote-unquote price list and a set of available solutions that we would basically sell to you. So the second part of the question around pricing ties directly to my first answer, which is why I combined both of them. For actual pricing, there is no price list per se. We really want to make sure we're working with you. So call us directly or email us based on the information I shared with you before. It is going to be clearly linked to conversion rates. And our desire is to help you generate the incremental results, not necessarily take a fee from you for X number of leads. So we'd love to have the opportunity to work with you on that component. So with that, we're going to wrap up. Again, we want to thank you for participating. This is valuable time for you, and we really welcome the opportunity to share some thoughts with you about this refinance opportunity. As I said earlier, this has been recorded. We'll be sending you a follow-up email in short order so you can have that URL for you to review the webinar again. And then you can also feel free to forward that to some of your peers and others that may be interested in this unique opportunity. Again, we would love the opportunity to partner with you. We'd love the opportunity to help you be successful and look forward to hearing from you regarding potential next steps. Again, we'll end the webinar. Have a great rest of the day, and we look forward to talking to you all soon. Thank you.